Hello and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stefan. If you please like, share, and subscribe. Here are the games coming up September 21st, 2021. The first game on our list is Diablo II Resurrected. This is coming on PC, the rating is mature, the content descriptions, blood and gore, suggestive themes, and violence. This is an action role-playing game in which players assume control of a warrior searching for a figure known as the Dark Wanderer. From a top-down overhead perspective, players traverse dungeons and caverns using sword, axes, and magic attacks to kill human-like figures and creatures. Combat is highlighted by screams of pain, frequent blood splatter effects, and fleshy impact sounds. Creatures sometimes explode into chunks of flesh when killed, and one creature is depicted skinless and covered in muscle and stew. Several rooms contain large bloodstains on the floor. One female monster is depicted with large portions of her breast exposed. The next game on our list is Ember. This is coming on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up. The content descriptions, alcoholic references, comic mischief, mild violence. This is a firefighting game in which players assume the role of freelance firefighters completing jobs to earn money and reputation. From a first person's perspective, players complete mission objectives and use tools of the trade to put out fires. Players have the ability to attack people, although these acts are not encouraged and work against the game's objectives. Rescue victims are sometimes seen sitting on toilets. In one sequence, bottles and barrels of maple wine are depicted in a warehouse. Next up is Death Stranding Director's Cut. This is coming on PlayStation 5, the rating is mature, the content descriptions, blood, intense violence, partial nudity, and strong language. This is an action game in which players assume the role of a courier transporting packages across the post-apocalyptic environment. As players traverse mountain terrains, they can be attacked by human settlers and ghostly apparitions. Players use machine guns, grenades, and shotguns to kill enemies. Firefights are highlighted by realistic gunfire, large splashes of blood, and cries of pain. In some stages, players can perform stealth takedowns of enemies. Cutscenes contain more intense acts of violence, a man and an infant shot, the latter accidentally, a character shooting a comatose patient in the head, a man stabbing himself repeatedly in the distance. A handful of sequences depict a character with his buttocks exposed. Swear words appear in the dialogue. The last game on today's list is Lost Judgment. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. The rating is mature. The content descriptions, blood, intense violence, partial nudity, sexual themes, strong language, and use of alcohol. This is an action-adventure game in which players assume the role of a detective investigating a murder. From a third-person's perspective, players explore urban environments, question suspects, and search for evidence and fight various gang members. Players can engage in street fights with other characters, mostly punching and kicking enemies in order to deplete their health meters. Some enemies use weapons against players during brawls. Combat is highlighted by impact sounds, cries of pain, blood splatter effects. Cutscenes depict more intense acts of violence and blood. Player characters beaten while tied to a chain, a restraining man getting his throat slit, accompanied by large blood splatter effects, a rotting corpse bound in a chair. The game contains some sexual material, characters discussing sugar baby relationships between young women and older men, discussion about women being groped, references to sex trade work at sex clubs. One fighting sequences depicts a man with his buttocks exposed. During the course of the game, players can visit bars to purchase drinks and chat with bartenders and hostess. One minigame depicts characters drunk. Swear words appear in the dialogue. Thank you to bensound.com for the music track. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube at Parents Guide to Games, on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games, on Twitter at ParentsG2G, and email any questions or concerns at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And always, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.